What is going on, everybody? Scary Spikes here, welcoming you back to some more Legacy of the Void coverage. Of course, this is closed beta. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to be playing in Archon mode against two AI opponents, which is going to be consisting of Protoss as well as a Terran player. And we are going to be playing Terran ourselves with our buddy here playing Terran also. So it's going to be quite a Terran mosh pit here. And as you can see, I haven't played in quite a long time. Just warning my partner of that. Because there is a very, very good chance that I'm just going to suck balls and not be very helpful. But what better way to learn than to play against some increasingly more difficult AI opponents. And finally, maybe we'll be able to get some multiplayer games in once I start to understand the fundamentals of base building and pushing and rushing and all that good stuff. So yes, it is a good idea, as I said, just have fun and learn as much as possible. He's not really sure what he's going to be going for here in terms of build. I believe I remember that he was going for some kind of mechanized build. I'm not quite sure though. There were a couple of new units that he was building, which of course are available in Legacy of the Void. And I gotta say, guys, the games do become a little bit more aggressive. Not so much at this level, but I'm sure at a more semi-pro to professional level. I have watched several games, and they are a lot more aggressive than I remember them being. Of course, I haven't played Starcraft 2 in a very, very long time, so that might have an impact on my observations. But nevertheless, we're going for early gas here. The reason why we're going for early gas and starting to wall off here, I didn't realize we were playing against Terran and Protoss, but it's a good idea to wall off anyway with two bunkers or two supply depots, excuse me, and a barracks. But I wanted to go with a very heavy M&M build, and if you're not familiar with that, it's sort of one of the meat and potato strategies with Terran, and M&M of course standing for Marauders and Marines. And it's fairly easy build. It's only 2 unit types, and you're basically trying to pump out as many of these as possible. And there was an M&M build as well, which consists of actually adding medevacs to the field so that you can help your Marines and your Marauders survive. But we're not going to be spending that much gas to get into starports here. We're going to go strictly with Marines and Marauders, and hopefully that'll be enough. I guess we'll find out. It's a very basic strategy, but let's see what our opponent, or rather our partner, is up to here. He's already expanded to his natural, which is really good, so he's going to be getting some more moolah, some more dough, some more cash to make his unstoppable army of death. And I think that, yeah, actually we're pretty much on par here. We're starting to go with our natural as well. Trying to do that as early as possible, as early as we can afford to, while still being able to pull out some units in order to, well, maximize our economy so that we can maximize our big M&M death balls. So this is not too bad. We're not too far behind him. He's only got about, what, 8 or 9 workers there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, about 8 or 9 workers here. The 9th one working on getting some gas going here. And for some weird reason, I don't think, if I can remember the battle correctly, that I was actually putting up a second gas here, which I should have done. So that was a mistake on my part. That would have accelerated me into some more heavy Marauder play. But nevertheless, like I said, I haven't played. I played last week, which wasn't really that much playing. It was just going through the menus and stuff, so that really doesn't count. This is really my first game in StarCraft 2 since probably about about 2 or 3 years ago, actually. So it hasn't been that long, but it's been long enough. You know, you don't really play something for a while. You certainly forget some of the nuances and the strategies and tactics involved in playing, especially a game like this where it's all about strategy, it's all about timing, it's all about reflexes, and more so importantly in the Legacy of the Void closed beta, and of course once it comes out, it's going to be more heavily based on your APM, or actions per minute. Your actions per minute pretty much dictate how good you are. If your APM is very high, technically that means that you're able to pump out more actions per minute and thereby be more efficient, which makes you obviously, puts you at a higher chance of winning the game. And let's check out our opponents here. Terran not doing too much, hasn't expanded yet, I see here. This is his natural here. Natural, when I say it's his natural, it means, oh, excuse me guys, it's been a long day. A natural expansion is your next expansion. It's the next place where you're going to be building a command center or a hive or a gateway or whatever you want to call it. your main building that basically spawns your basic workers. So your natural expansion is going to be the first place where you build your next one in order to stabilize your economy and start getting more money to be able to build what you need to support your strategy. So this particular player here, like I said, it's a AI and it is on very easy. I know comments are probably going to be ridiculous, but hey, that's what my skill level is right now, so that's what I have to work with. The Protoss doing a little bit better here. I see that he's on gas as well, so that's a Stargate as well. So I'm afraid that maybe he's going to start pumping out some carriers or something. I'm not sure what the AI on very easy is like in terms of aggression. But excuse me, yawning again, my goodness. But he has expanded, as you can see here, to his natural, as has my partner and as have I. So the only one who hasn't done so is the Terran player here, but I guess we'll see what happens. Let's check out our partner's base here. Oh my god. So I wasn't too far off. He is building a very, very mech-heavy strategy here, with 4 factories now in the another 2 coming up very shortly here. So... And he's got the tech lab, of course, so he's looking to tech up fairly quickly by the looks of things. Very cool. And I'm not sure why the 2 academies. I think maybe just to be able to research these things faster, but I guess that's just an observation. That's probably what it's for. I mean, the only reason why you would ever build more than one building is to be able to build things or steady things simultaneously. So here we go. Let's check out this guy. The Cyclone. Interesting. 200 health. And no upgrades yet, as of yet. But this thing looks pretty deadly, man. It looks like the one kind of thing I wouldn't really want to bump into in a dark alley somewhere. So, I know we've got a scouting. What is this thing here? SCV. My God, like I said, it's been a long time. So he's trying to come here and have a look and see what my partner's doing. Okay, so he finds the second expansion here. And really, just... he's gonna start... oh, okay, no, this is... this was the AI. This is my partner here, building yet another command center. So, wow, that's gonna be 1, 2... He's gonna be on 3 command centers, which is pretty impressive. Unfortunately, for the rest of the game, I only stay on 2. I probably could have pumped out more units. Which, speaking of which, I finally got all of my things operational here, so finally starting to pump more of them out. And also ended up getting a siege tank with just the 1 factory to basically protect these guys a little bit. I've got a big supply line happening here. I don't want just a few guys running in and ruining that for me. So the single siege tank should make pretty good work of that. Although, am I able to see? Oh yeah, he's got a pretty good radius. Of course, I probably should have put him a little bit closer to the supply line, but at this point, I decided to go and help out my my partner because his base was starting to get attacked here. So I think I ended up being a little bit too late for the attack, but decided to start pushing the Protoss base anyway, as did he once we started to see that I was attacking. So he came in and started to help to push. And this natural expansion wasn't too difficult to take out. It was mostly just a bunch of probes. And then, of course, we had the Nexus, which I called the Gateway before. I apologize. And a single assimilator, which is basically the Protoss version of a refinery. So he brings his units in here to help us get rid of that base. And very, very soon, it would be GG for the Protoss player, as he wasn't really ready for this kind of force. Obviously, 2 versus 1 versus very easy. There is a bit of a handicap there, but again, like I said, I do have a handicap myself, and that handicap is I haven't played in a very long time. So there you go. But we managed to take out this base pretty easily. As you can see here, we just kind of focus on the pylons first, because the pylons are sort of what are required for the Protoss to make more efficient use, or really any use of their buildings. Without that, they're unable to. They also add to the supply limit, and there's the GG for the Protoss player. And I actually initially I just left these because I thought he just gave up, but then I decided to come back and just clear out the base. These things are pretty cool, man. These Hellbats. I know they're not exactly a new unit, but I don't see them very often. It's just nice to see these guys against Zerg. If you get a chance to see them versus Zerg, I mean, you just flamethrowers and flesh exploding. It's a wonderful sight. It really is a wonderful sight. But nevertheless, one thing I failed to realize is how big of a giant mechanized ball of death my partner seems to have already. So I decided to follow him into the Terran base. And this is the natural, of course, here for the Terran, who finally got his natural up really, really late, to be honest. And considering that he's going to be quite busy tearing up the natural, I decided to just skip the natural, as looks like he's kind of got it here, and move up to the main base and start causing some harassment there. Single Marauder, of course, being no match and getting completely obliterated. And yeah, actually wasn't too far off with my prediction. He did build a starport, but it was only to build the Ravens. At least I think that's what that was anyway. So let's see here. Yeah, it's a Raven. If I'm not mistaken, those are the flyers that can put up turrets on the ground and everything. I don't know what else they do, but they don't seem to be that helpful in this particular matchup. So there we go, guys. We end up clearing out this base. I hope you enjoyed this look at Legacy of the Void Beta. I know it's not exactly very in-depth, but I do my best to try to show you what I can. And next week we're going to try to shake it up a little bit. There's the GG. So thank you very, very much for watching. Hopefully we'll get a little bit more interesting next week. And we'll see you in the videos coming up on Wednesday as well as Friday. Make sure to tune in for those. And to check out SSP Gaming over at the blog at sspgaming.blogspot.com, where you can find all the news about what's going on the channel. So thank you so much, guys. Have a great day. I hope you enjoyed this coverage, and join me again next week. And that'll be it. Bye for now, guys. Have a good one.